There is a moment in the history of every spiritual master when the truth about abundance was revealed. Not in golden temples, not in ancient books locked behind keys, but in a ritual so simple, so silent, that the ordinary mind would never recognize its power. Tonight, you are about to discover what the masters kept hidden, not out of selfishness, but because they knew only those who are ready can hear without distorting, can receive without resisting. If you feel that your financial life is a locked door, if abundance seems always one step away, if you have tried everything and yet prosperity slips through your fingers like sand, then what you are about to hear is not coincidence. It is synchronicity. Your energetic field has magnetized this moment, and after tonight, nothing in you will remain the same. You need to hear this now, not tomorrow, not when you have more time, now. Because there is a quantum window open in this instant, a crack in the fabric of your reality where deep reprogramming is possible. The masters knew this. They waited for the exact moment, and you are in it. This video is meant to be listened to with full attention. Find a quiet space, take a deep breath, and allow these words to enter your subconscious mind. What you are about to hear is not just information, it is activation. There exists a secret about fortune that the ancient masters understood, and that modern science is only beginning to touch. Wealth is not something you attract. Wealth is a frequency you already are. Let that penetrate. It is not about seeking. It is about remembering. It is not about effort. It is about alignment. And the ritual that the masters practiced every night before sleep was precisely this, a process of reconnection with the energetic truth of abundance that has always been coded in your spiritual DNA. Imagine for a moment that your consciousness is like a mirror. For years, decades perhaps, this mirror reflected scarcity because that is what the world around you projected: financial fear, stories of limitation, inherited beliefs about money being dirty, difficult, reserved only for a few lucky or exceptional ones. And your brain, that perfect survival machine, simply obeyed. Your neurons created neural networks of scarcity. Your synapses fired in patterns of lack. Your electromagnetic field began to vibrate at the frequency of deficiency. And the universe, being the perfect mirror that it is, returned exactly that. But the masters discovered something extraordinary. They realized that before sleep, in the moments when the conscious mind dissolves and the subconscious becomes exposed, there is a door, a golden door. And through that door, it is possible to rewrite all the programming. It is possible to change the mirror. It is possible to shift the frequency. In just 7 minutes before deep sleep, you can install a new reality in the core of your being. Can you feel it? The possibility vibrating in the air right now? This is not metaphor. It is quantum physics meeting ancient mysticism. When you enter the theta state, that threshold between waking and sleeping, your brain waves slow down to something between 4 and 8 hertz. In this state, the critical filter of the conscious mind disappears. And that is exactly where the miracle happens, because in this moment, you are no longer defending your old stories. You are no longer protecting your limiting beliefs. You are naked, vulnerable, open. And it is in this openness that the ritual of the masters finds its absolute power. The ritual is simple, but its simplicity hides an oceanic depth. It is based on 3 invisible pillars that work simultaneously: sensory reprogramming, energetic anchoring, and identity dissolution. Do not worry about the names. Soon, you will feel each of them operating inside you like underground rivers of transformation. Sensory reprogramming begins when you close your eyes, and instead of visualizing what you want, you feel what you already are. There is a subtle but devastating difference here. Visualizing keeps you in the position of one who seeks. Feeling places you in the position of one who possesses. The masters knew this. They did not imagine palaces. They felt themselves in the palaces. They did not dream of gold. They felt the cold weight of gold in their hands. They did not think about abundance. They breathed abundance. Each inhalation brought prosperity. Each exhalation released scarcity. And the body, that temple of flesh and electricity, responded. Because the body does not distinguish between real experience and experience imagined with full sensory intensity. Have you noticed how your heart races when you relive a memory of fear, even years later? Your body believes it is happening now. Time is an illusion for the nervous system, and the masters use this. They created future memories so real, so visceral, that the brain began to fire the same neural patterns as if abundance were already present. And when the brain believes, the energetic field changes. And when the energetic field changes, external reality mirrors. But there is more. Energetic anchoring is the second pillar, and this is where the magic deepens. The masters discovered that it is not enough to feel abundance for a few seconds. You must anchor that sensation in something permanent within you. They called this creating an internal portal, a place inside your consciousness where prosperity is always real, always present, always accessible. And every night before sleep, they returned to this portal. They fed it with attention. They expanded it with intention. And over time, this portal became larger than doubt itself, larger than fear, larger than the external evidence of limitation. Think of this as planting a seed in fertile soil. The first night, the seed is small. You can barely see it, but you water it with faith. The second night, nothing yet appears on the surface, but beneath the earth, roots are forming, invisible but real. The third night, the fourth, the fifth, you continue watering. And then, one morning, you wake up and notice that something has changed, not dramatically, not with fireworks, but an opportunity arises. A brilliant idea appears from nowhere. A person mentions something that opens a door, and you recognize this is the seed sprouting. This is the quantum field responding to the frequency you have been planting every night. Now, the third pillar is the most powerful and the most frightening: identity dissolution. The masters understood that you can never be rich while your identity is tied to the person who is poor. Let that resonate. Your identity is a golden prison. You identify with your stories, with your struggles, with your limitations. And as long as this is true, the universe will have to continue creating circumstances that validate that identity. Because the universe is a loyal servant, it never contradicts who you believe yourself to be. So the masters, in those 7 minutes before sleep, did something radical. They died, symbolically, energetically, completely. They let the person they had been during the day dissolve like mist in the sun. And in the void that remained, they allowed a new identity to be born. The identity of someone for whom abundance is natural, someone for whom prosperity is the default state, someone who does not even question whether wealth will come, because they already live in it, breathe it, are made of it. And now we arrive at the heart of the ritual, at the core of the secret. Pay attention, because what you are about to hear is not theory. It is high-precision spiritual technology. In the last moments before falling asleep, when your eyes are already heavy and your breathing is slow, you will do something that seems absurdly simple but carries absolute quantum realignment power. You will repeat a single phrase, but not with your mouth, with sensation, with your entire energetic field, with every cell of your body. The phrase is this: I am the frequency of infinite fortune. But here is the secret that separates those who transform from those who merely repeat empty words. When you say this, you are not affirming something you hope will be true. You are recognizing something that is already true, but that you had forgotten. There is a colossal energetic difference between affirming and recognizing. Affirming comes from the ego that seeks. Recognizing comes from the soul that remembers. Feel the difference right now. When you affirm, I am rich, there is a part of you that immediately responds. But look at your bank account. There is resistance. There is doubt. There is an internal war. But when you recognize I am the frequency of infinite fortune, something different happens. Because you are not talking about physical money. You are talking about what you are at the quantum level. You are talking about vibration, about field, about essence. And at this level, there is no possible doubt, because at this level, you truly are pure frequency, and frequency can be tuned. The masters knew that the universe functions by resonance. Energy waves seek other energy waves at the same frequency. When you tune into the frequency of infinite fortune before sleep, you are sending a wave through the quantum field that says, I vibrate here now. Bring me everything that resonates with me. And during sleep, while your conscious mind is offline, the real work happens. Your subconscious, now programmed with the new frequency, begins to reorganize your perception, your choices, your actions. You wake up different, not visibly, but energetically. And it is this invisible difference that creates the cascade of visible changes. Can you feel this happening now? As these words enter your ears, they are doing more than transmitting concepts. They are activating dormant codes in your spiritual DNA. You are beginning to remember, not intellectually, cellularly. Your neurons are firing new patterns. Your synapses are creating new connections. Your electromagnetic field is expanding, harmonizing, aligning with the truth that has always been yours. You are not separate from abundance. You are abundance experiencing itself through a temporary human form. And here is something that few speak about, but that the masters lived. Transformation does not happen in the future. It happens now. In this exact moment, as you listen, there is a quantum timeline where you are already immensely prosperous, where your financial decisions were brilliant, where opportunities flowed like rivers, where you walk with the calm certainty of one who never doubts their worthiness. This timeline is not fantasy. It is a real possibility existing in a state of quantum superposition. And the ritual of the masters is simply this, an act of collapsing that wave of possibility into concrete experience. Every night, when you repeat, I am the frequency of infinite fortune, you are not creating something new. You are choosing which timeline to collapse into your reality. You are voting with your attention. You are directing the creative energy of the universe. And the universe, being perfectly neutral and infinitely generous, responds, always, without exception, without judgment. But there is a crucial point that must be said with crystal clarity. The ritual does not work if you do it as a task. If you lie in bed and mechanically repeat the phrase while your mind wanders into worries, nothing changes. The power is in total presence. It is in surrender. It is in complete fusion between intention and attention. When you say, I am the frequency of infinite fortune, you need to feel each word not as concept, but as lived truth. You need to feel your chest expand with the vibration of infinite. You need to feel your cells dance with the frequency of fortune. You need to dissolve into the consciousness that you are, literally, made of the same substance that creates galaxies and multiplies stars. Now we are at the moment of deep integration. Your brain is not just listening to these words, it is being restructured by them. Neuroplasticity is not just a beautiful scientific concept, it is a promise. It is proof that you can change, not superficially, not temporarily, but fundamentally. And this change is happening now, in this instant, as new patterns of thought about prosperity replace old neural networks of scarcity. Do you sense it? There is a lightness beginning to settle in your chest. There is a subtle but undeniable expansion in your energetic field. This is not imagination. It is recognition. Your soul is saying yes. Your essence is remembering. You are returning home to the truth of who you always were before you learned to believe in limitation. The masters called this moment the awakening within the dream, because even awake, you have been living in a collective dream of scarcity, a dream where abundance is rare, difficult, deserved only by a few lucky or exceptional ones. But this dream was never real. It was only consensual. And you, in this moment, are breaking the consensus. You are waking up within the dream and realizing that you can choose a different one. And the choice is surprisingly simple. Every night, for just 7 minutes before sleep, you will lie down, close your eyes, breathe deeply 3 times to enter a state of total receptivity, and then you will feel, not think, feel. You will feel what it would be like to wake up tomorrow knowing that a 6-figure opportunity is coming. What it would be like to look at your bank account and see abundance. What it would be like to make financial decisions without fear, without hesitation, with the calm confidence of one who knows there is always more. And as you feel this, with eyes closed, body relaxed, mind in theta state, you repeat internally, like a silent prayer, like a sacred mantra, I am the frequency of infinite fortune. You allow these words to dissolve into pure sensation. You let them become you, and then, when sleep comes, you do not resist. You allow it to take you, knowing that during the night, while you dream, the deepest work is happening. Your subconscious is reorganizing files. It is deleting old programs. It is installing the new operating system of abundance. And in the morning, you may not notice anything different immediately, but pay attention. You will notice small changes, an idea arising from nowhere, a casual conversation that leads to an opportunity, an impulse to check something that results in valuable discovery. These are not coincidences. They are synchronicities. They are the universe responding to the new frequency you emitted during the night. The beauty of this ritual is that it is cumulative. The first night plants the seed, the second waters, the third strengthens the roots. On the seventh night, something begins to sprout in the visible field of your life. On the 21st day, completely new neural patterns have been formed. On the 63rd day, your energetic identity has changed. You are no longer the person who began this ritual. You are someone who breathes abundance, who thinks in terms of unlimited possibility, who makes decisions from a place of fullness instead of lack. And here is the final truth that the masters guarded as the greatest secret. You were never learning to be abundant. You have always been abundant. You had just forgotten. You had identified with the character, with the story, with the circumstances, but you are not your circumstances. You are the consciousness observing the circumstances, and consciousness can create any circumstance it chooses as long as it stops believing it is limited by current circumstances. This ritual is the bridge. It is the portal. It is the key that opens the door between who you have been and who you really are. And the door is open now. It has always been open. You only needed someone to remind you to look at it. We are now at the turning point, at the moment where everything that has been said crystallizes into absolute understanding. You no longer need to seek fortune. You need to recognize that you are fortune. Not metaphorically, literally. At the quantum level, you are a field of infinite possibilities, and fortune is just one of the infinite forms your energy can assume. The masters did not multiply fortune. They stopped resisting the fortune they already were. Think of the ocean for a moment. Each wave believes it is separate. Each wave sees itself as individual, struggling to reach the shore, competing with other waves. But the truth is that waves do not exist. There is only ocean expressing itself in temporary forms. And when the wave realizes it is ocean, the struggle ends. Peace arrives, and with peace comes power. Because the entire ocean is available to that wave, not because it conquered, but because it remembered. You are the ocean forgetting that it is ocean and believing itself to be a wave. And this ritual, this simple practice of 7 minutes before sleep, is the whisper that says, remember, you are infinite, you are abundance, you are the source of fortune, not the recipient waiting to be filled. And when you truly absorb this, something revolutionary happens. You stop trying to attract, you stop trying to manifest, you simply allow, you open, you recognize, and what previously seemed blocked begins to flow. Not because you did more, but because you resisted less. Not because you worked harder, but because you aligned with the natural current of abundance that always wanted to flow through you. Right now, in this exact moment, your energetic field is recalibrating. The words you have heard were not just information entering through the ear and being processed by the brain. They were sound frequencies carrying intention, carrying truth, carrying activation. And these frequencies interacted with your bioelectromagnetic field. They created resonance waves. They awakened cellular memories of abundance that were dormant. Your ancestors knew prosperity. Your past lives experienced wealth. And this knowledge is coded in your non-physical DNA, in your quantum DNA, in your DNA of light. The ritual of the masters accesses this. It does not create abundance. It unlocks the abundance already present but forgotten. And the moment of unlocking is now. Not when you finish listening, not when you go to sleep tonight, but now in this present moment, where transformation is always possible, where miracles are always accessible, where the timeline of infinite fortune is available to be chosen. You are choosing now, with your attention, with your presence, with your openness to listen this far. You did not arrive at this video by accident. You were magnetically attracted because your soul knew it was time. Time to stop believing the story of limitation. Time to remember the truth of infinitude. Time to claim the spiritual inheritance that has always been yours. Abundance without effort, fortune without struggle, prosperity as the natural state of existence. And in the coming days and weeks, as you practice the ritual every night, observe, not with anxious expectation, not with doubt disguised as testing, but with loving curiosity. Observe how your energy changes, how your internal posture transforms, how you begin to make different decisions, how opportunities appear that you would not have seen before or would not have had the courage to seize. Observe how the external world begins to mirror the internal change, gently at first, like a breeze, then with more force, like a wind, and eventually like a storm of blessings you can barely keep up with. This is not empty promise. This is not motivational hype. This is spiritual law. This is quantum physics. This is how the universe works. You emit frequency. The universe responds with experiences that match the frequency. Change the frequency. Change the experiences. It is divine mathematics. It is scientific poetry. It is the secret that the masters guarded, not because they wanted to deprive you, but because they knew that only ready ears could hear without distorting, only open hearts could receive without resisting. And now we arrive at the end of this journey, but at the beginning of your true transformation. The ritual is in your hands now. 7 minutes, every night, before sleep. I am the frequency of infinite fortune, not as affirmation, as recognition, not as desire, as truth, not as future, as eternal present. You are not becoming prosperous. You are remembering that you always were. You are not attracting abundance. You are stopping blocking the abundance that always wanted to flow through you. You are not learning a new ritual. You are returning to an ancestral knowledge that your soul never forgot, only your mind temporarily obscured. Tonight, when you lie down, do the ritual. Not because I am telling you, not because you want to test if it works, but because something inside you recognized the truth in these words, because your soul said yes, because you are ready to stop living the small story and begin inhabiting the vast truth. And the truth is simple, profound, and undeniable. You are made of the same substance that creates universes, and universes do not know scarcity, only infinite expansion. You were never becoming wealthy. You were remembering who you are. If this spoke to your soul, leave a light in the comments so the universe knows you have received the message.